Sometimes life puts you in situations you never imagined. Situations where one secret can destroy everything. This is the story of a young man in Bulawayo who thought he had found a way to escape poverty, but instead walked straight into the worst nightmare of his life. Because the man secretly sponsoring his life turned out to be his girlfriend's father. And by the time he realized the truth, it was already too late. Sipho was 22 years old. Like many young people in Bulawayo, he was trying to survive in a city where opportunities were rare. He lived in a small rented room with cracked walls and a leaking roof. Every morning he woke up with the same problem. No money. No stable job. No clear future. He tried everything. Car washing. Selling phone chargers in town. Helping at a friend's tuck shop. But nothing ever lasted long. Some nights he slept on an empty stomach. Other nights he stared at the ceiling asking himself one painful question. Is this what my life will always be? One evening, while scrolling on his phone, Sipho received a strange message from an unknown number. Hello. I came across your profile. I would like to help you financially. Sipho thought it was a scam. But then another message arrived. No pressure. I just enjoy supporting someone who understands discretion. Then came the part that changed everything. A money notification. $50. Sipho froze. He hadn't asked for anything, yet someone had already sent money. The sender introduced himself simply as Mr. Dubé. He said he was a businessman who traveled often and preferred private companionship. He wanted someone loyal. Someone discreet. Someone who understood that some relationships exist in secret. Sipho understood what it meant. A blesser arrangement. He hesitated, but hunger and desperation can silence many doubts. He replied. At first it was simple. They met occasionally at quiet hotels on the outskirts of the city. Mr. Dubé was older, confident, and always well-dressed. He never revealed much about himself. No family talk. No personal photos. Just short conversations and generous payments. Soon Sipho's life began to change. His rent was paid. He bought new clothes. He could finally breathe without worrying about tomorrow. But there was one complication. Sipho had a girlfriend. Her name was Nomsa. Nomsa was kind, supportive, and believed Sipho would eventually succeed. She never suspected anything. When Sipho suddenly had money, she smiled and said, "Your business must be growing." Sipho would just nod. The lie sat quietly between them. One Sunday afternoon Nomsa made a simple request. "Sipho, I want you to meet my father." Sipho felt nervous but excited. Meeting a girlfriend's parents meant the relationship was serious. Nomsa explained her father had just returned from a business trip. Sipho bought a small cake and wore his best shirt. When they arrived at the house, everything looked peaceful. A comfortable home. A neat yard. The kind of family environment Sipho had always dreamed of being part of. Nomsa called out happily. "Dad. We're here." Footsteps approached from the hallway. Sipho stood up respectfully. The man walked into the living room. And in that moment, Sipho's world collapsed. Dinner felt like a slow nightmare. Nomsa talked happily about school and future plans. Meanwhile, two men sat across from each other carrying a dangerous secret. Sipho barely touched his food. Mr. Dubé avoided eye contact. Finally Mr. Dubé asked calmly. "So Sipho, what do you do for work?" To Nomsa, it sounded like a normal question. But to Sipho it felt like a warning. He swallowed hard. "I'm trying to start a small business." Mr. Dubé nodded slowly. "That's good, ambition is important. But the look in his eyes said something very different. After dinner, Mr. Dubé asked Sipho to step outside. They stood alone in the yard under a dim security light. Neither spoke for several seconds. Then Mr. Dubé finally said, "This arrangement ends today." Sipho laughed bitterly. "You think I wanted this situation?" Mr. Dubé looked exhausted. "My daughter must never know." Sipho felt anger and shame mixing together. "You were paying me to keep secrets, now I find out the secret involves your own family." The silence between them felt heavy. Finally Mr. Dubé said quietly, "I never expected the person I was helping to be dating my daughter." Helping. That word hurt more than anything. Because deep down Sipho knew the truth. Both of them had created this mess. A week later Sipho broke up with Nomsa. She cried and begged for answers. But he never told her the truth. The arrangement with Mr. Dubé ended immediately. The money stopped. Sipho returned to struggling and hustling in Bulawayo, trying to rebuild his life honestly. But one thing never left his mind. Some secrets don't just disappear. Sometimes they follow you, forever. And somewhere in the same city, a father and a young man live with a truth that can never be spoken. What would you have done in Sipho's situation? Tell me in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more real-life dramatic stories.